Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to make for you naans. So naans are flatbread popular in South Asia, places like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan. They're usually eaten with curries or kebabs, really delicious. Naans are traditionally made in a tandoor oven, which is extremely hot. Obviously, most of us don't have tandoors at home, so I'm going to show you how to make a very easy version at home using your oven. So put the oven at a very high setting and then heat it up properly, and then you'll be left with something really nice and fluffy towards the end. So here are the ingredients we'll need for our naans. I've got 525 grams of plain flour, 1 sachet of easy bake yeast, which is 7 grams or 2 teaspoons, 1.5 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of sugar, 4 heaped tablespoons of natural yogurt, plain natural yogurt. And in this mug we've got 100 milliliters of full fat milk, 200 milliliters of boiling hot water, and 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil, or you can use olive oil as well. Now what we're going to do is mix it all together to form a soft dough. Because we're using easy rise yeast, this doesn't need to be activated, so you can mix it all together with a warm liquid, so it will kind of activate itself. If you are using the one that needs to be activated, then make sure to add this with the sugar into the warm mixture and let it sit for about 5 minutes until frothy, and then you can carry on as usual. So I've got the yeast in there and the salt, and now we're going to add the sugar. That's 4 teaspoons of sugar. So whisk it all together. I'm going to create a little well in the middle, and to this I'm going to add in our warm liquid. And also the yogurt. I've added all the ingredients to the bowl, and now what I'm going to do is mix it together just for a minute or so to form a soft dough. So you can see it's all come together, but it's fairly sticky. It's clinging to my hand. So I've given this a quick mix. So dust the surface with some flour and then turn your dough onto this. So remember, naans are supposed to be a soft and fluffy, enriched dough, bread, so we're not going to knead it too much because that releases the gluten and we don't want a chewy naan. So as you can see, I've placed some flour onto the counter and I'm just going to give it a quick knead. Don't be tempted to add too much flour. If it seems too sticky, then just add a tiny handful. I'm just going to add a dash of oil to a clean bowl. So make sure you grease the bowl at the bottom and along the sides as well, because when our dough rises, it may stick to the sides, so it's a good idea to do that. So after mixing all the ingredients together for our naan dough, I've turned it out onto a floured surface, well-floured surface, and I've spent just a minute kneading it. You can see the dough is still quite sticky, very soft, but it's done, so don't be tempted to add more flour, because when we roll it out later, after it's proofed, then we will add a bit more flour then. So make it into a rough ball, put it into the greased bowl and then turn it over. That way you've got an even distribution of oil on the surface, that won't stick. So what we're going to do is cover it with cling film and leave that to rise in a warm spot for about an hour, hour and a half, and then we'll come back. So it's been about an hour and a half since we set our dough aside to proof or rise, and look, it's literally more than doubled. Maybe I should have got a slightly bigger bowl, so when you do put your dough into something, make sure the bowl is quite large, unlike me, so don't be like me. But it's just managed to stay in, and what we're going to do now is prepare the dough for our naans. Look how soft the dough is. So naans can be topped with pretty much anything. Traditionally, they're plain, or you can put some nigella seeds on top, which I prefer personally, but everyone in the household likes garlic and coriander. So I've got garlic and coriander here today. About a tablespoon and a half of crushed garlic, so that's about 5 or 6 cloves, and a small bunch of coriander, which is about 4 tablespoons worth in volume. So just mix that together gently, and then when we're ready to put the naans in the oven, we will top each of them with a little bit of this mixture. Before we get started, we need to turn our oven on, make sure it's preheated for about 20 minutes or so. Most home ovens reach up to about 500 degrees Fahrenheit. My one is a fan oven, so I've got that at 250 degrees Celsius. Also, a quick note on having some butter or ghee to hand. When we finish baking the naans, we're going to immediately brush them with a little bit of melted butter. If you don't have butter, you can use ghee, or you can leave it out, but it makes the naans really soft. So about 40 or 50 grams of melted butter is what we need, salted butter. I'm generously dusting the surface and going to tip over the dough now. Normally when you have dough proving, you punch or knock the air out of it, but I'm not going to do that too much today. Give it a little roll with the rolling pin. I very gently rolled out the dough into a 10-inch circle. Make sure to use a very gentle touch so you don't knock too much of the air out of it. And what we're going to do now is divide it into 6 portions, or 6 wedges, as if you were cutting a cake, and then shape our naans. I'm going to shape the dough into a kind of a long, slightly triangular piece of bread. So, which is why I've cut it like this, which makes it really easy to kind of shape. Add some more flour, and then put your wedges onto the flour. So I've roughly shaped each portion of dough into this kind of triangular kind of piece, which is essentially what they're going to look like. We're just going to stretch them out, make them a little bit larger, and add the topping. I'm going to gently give it a roll and then transfer 2 at a time onto the baking tray, and I'll show you the next step. So I've got 2 here shaped. As you can see, they're kind of triangular, wider on the top and narrower at the bottom. I'd say about maybe ½ an inch thick. Don't worry about getting them perfect. What we're going to do now is transfer them to the baking tray, and then top them with the garlic and coriander mixture. What I normally do is just stretch them out with my hand like this. So if you're feeling confident, try that. If not, then gently use the rolling pin to shape them. So you need about a teaspoon or so of the mixture, and just put it all over the bread. So I've got 2 of the naans prepared here. You can see that I've evenly distributed the garlic and coriander across the surface, and then just kind of put a little bit of water on my hand and gently pressed the mixture into the dough. That helps it stay on the naans. The oven is hot now, so we're going to put this in the oven, keep a close eye on them, and they'll need about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we're going to check to see if they're done. So look at these naans straight out of the oven. Don't they look amazing? They've got a little colour on them, kind of deep golden around the edges, and there's an amazing smell of the garlic and coriander which has been roasting in the oven. So you can tell that they're done because just lift it up and you'll see at the back it's golden brown, so it's kind of light golden. So I've got about 40 grams of melted butter here. So immediately after getting them out of the oven, give them a nice brush with the butter. A generous brush, don't be shy about this. This helps keep the bread soft. Now I'm going to get on with preparing the rest of the naans. So guys, there you have it, my really easy naans, which have been smothered in melted butter and topped with garlic and coriander. This dough has made 6 naans, so it will serve 6 people or maybe even 4 very hungry people. Look how soft they are. So when I pick them up, you can tell that they're kind of very pliable and fluffy, and smell amazing. So I can't wait to have these in a bit with some kebabs. So now you know how to make naans at home. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe and share, and do check out my Brick Lane Cookbook, which is linked below, and also check out my chicken bhuna recipe, which I think pairs perfectly with this naan recipe. So I hope you have a great day, and I shall see you next time.